Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Las Vegas for round 24 of the championship season. Dillon Young is on pole for today's event by 2/1000ths of a second over DJ Kurtis. Jesse Turner, starting P4, is the championship leader coming in this event. He gained 22 points on DJ Kurtis last time out, with winning his 6th race of the season. Kurtis desperately needs to grab another victory and swing that championship advantage back in his favor. Still all to play for with 7 races to go and 6 after this one. Coming in this event, some news headlines. Nick Mace is out for I don't even know how long. Just however many races it takes for Nick Mace to recover from his injury. There was a massive crash on lap 1 at Pocono that left Nick Mace with some massive injuries. It's going to take him a while to recover, and it could be the rest of the year. But Nick Mace is hoping to be back by the end of the season. Substituting for him is an old friend and an old driver of his, Jordan Davis, in car 20 today, and a special scheme that you'll see later. And replacing Jordan Davis at Young Wicked Racing for however long Nick Mace is going to be out is Stephen Paul III in car 08. Yes, he'll be starting the race deeper in the field as he qualified his way in. Also, in the headlines, Allen Family Racing Team will not be fielding 3 full-time cars for the 2022 season, as they will only focus on Chris Dodd and John Arndt for the rest of the season. So let's get down, start the race. Getting ready to roll off here at Las Vegas. Dillon Young is the only driver for Turner Performance Racing to have not won all season. And, you know, Dillon Young, he needs to try and grab a victory. It's very important for him to showcase that he can do it and that he's a talented race car driver. We know Dillon Young and what he can do behind the wheel. He has the experience. He's won these great races, and he's won a lot in the series. But when you race for some dominant teams like Yamp Motorsports in their prime at 2019, and then here at Turner Performance Racing, all 4 of them qualified in the top 10. You have to be able to pull out wins. Dillon Young's won 8 times in his career, and he desperately needs to pull something out. Chris Dodd for Allen Family Racing Team and John Arndt, the news of them being the only 2 full-time cars next season, starting inside the top 10. They're hoping they can do something today. Allen Family Racing Team has kind of been on the back burner this season. UER, where have they been? Sean Harple, P5. Then Richard Johnson, Ryan Griffin from Monster Energy Racing, they're also inside the top 10. As we get ready to start the event, we're racing at Las Vegas. On the back straightaway for the first time today, Chris Dodd. What a start for him, passing DJ Kurtis. He's on the attack of Dillon Young, but he can't do anything in turn 3. Sean Harple had a run on DJ Kurtis, but round the outside, DJ Kurtis takes P3, and Jesse Turner on the outside of Harple. He's going to keep the momentum going. The high side, very dominant if you can get it going. And Turner sails it off into turn 1 and gets 4th place back. James Shelley with ease just went right by Sean Harple, and Harple trying to do the crossover to the inside of James Shelley, but Harple not able to do anything there. The inside line in turn 3 and 4 really has to check up a lot unless you have a lot of grip down there and you can just hook it around the bottom. But Harple doesn't seem like he can do that, as Jake Bassinger gets the inside of him, and Sean Harple is not only going to lose 1 position, he's going to lose 2, as the Turner Performance Racing Team has all 4 of their cars inside the top 6. Making his Sony Cup Series debut today, Brandon Beal in the 98. He was inside the top 30 momentarily. Matthew Rodriguez, who qualified in the back, did not have a good qualifying session. Rodriguez trying to pick his way through traffic, trying to get the inside of Rogers, but Beal to the outside. And Hero Motorsports trying to get this 98 car more competitive, and it seems like it's gotten that way. The 98 failed to qualify majority of the season. And for Brandon Beal, a rookie who's failed to qualify for a lot of races in the Hardy's National Series, to be able to jump in a cup ride and qualify it in and be racing with the likes of Matt Rodriguez, Eric DeMax. He's doing well in the early going. We talked about Allen Family Racing Team in the pre-race, how they're going to be only focusing on 2 cars for next season, and the 45 is going to be part-time for 2022, and Ryan Acosta is down here in the 30s, and we know he qualified poorly, and we expect Acosta to be able to pick his way through traffic and be competitive for today. But Acosta, man, it's just very poor to see him down here in the 30s another week. At Pocono, he was down in the 30s on raw pace. He's battling with Doug Lockrow and Stephen Pollard III. That's Pollard right there in the 08. But for Ryan Acosta, who was a championship leader at some point in this season, to be on the verge of falling outside the top 10 in the driver standings, it's just been heartbreaking to watch for Ryan Acosta. Battle for second position. Here comes DJ Kurtis to the inside of Chris Dodd. Dodd trying to put up a fight in the 44, but the 19 to the inside with the push from his championship rival, Jesse Turner, right there in third position. Chris Dodd loses out to second place. He goes all the way back to fourth. Possibly going to lose another position as here comes another Turner Performance Ford. He's on the back bumper. There's Jake Bassinger looking to make a move. Jordan Davis, Ryan Griffin working the inside line. So the inside line can get something going down there in turn 3 and 4. Davis makes that pass on Cody Lamas. Ryan Griffin, Zayden Davidson, all making a pass to get up into 11th, 12th, and 13th. And down to 14th is Cody Lamas. And Lamas struggling with the handle on that 48 car. Race for 25th position. Zach Rodgers to the inside of Daniel Bouchard. Bouchard for Cloud9 Racing. Doing a phenomenal job in the early going, but he's going to get kick chopped in a few places. Rodgers in the 99 makes that pass. Actually, 3 cars just went right by him as soon as I started talking about him. Cloud9 Racing being purchased up by Red Bull Racing. And Bouchard's going to have a little bit more help from the Red Bull family in 2022 as a third car for next season. And Bouchard now in the clutches of Brandon Beal, the rookie, right here in 29th position. I'm very impressed. Replay of a move battling for 12th place. Davidson dove it to the inside, but Griffin drove it in the corner on the high side. And this track is so great. I love Las Vegas. Ryan Griffin able to defend against Zayden Davidson by going to the top in turns 1 and 2. The middle group down in 3 and 4 seems to be the better line. But this is a battle for 12th position. Griffin for the NOS Energy Racing Dodge, for Monster Energy Racing, trying to put up a fight against Zayden Davidson in the 91. Davis substituting for Nick Mace in the 20 car to the inside of Jeffrey White. And further ahead, the Tut Performance Racing cars gaining up on Chris Dodd. Nothing Dodd can really do. The Fords are just so quick. And Dodd's forced to give way. But further back, Nick Mace was able to work on Jeffrey White. Jordan Davis and Nick Mace's car. Been able to make that place done. Jordan Davis, the 3-time champion, helping out Nick Mace. That paint scheme right there, car 20, is the same paint scheme Jordan Davis drove with Mace Enterprises to win the championship in 2016. And Jordan Davis, a 3-time champion, trying to help out some teams in need here to wrap up his career. And for Davis in the more competitive ride, being able to get this car in the top 10. Here on lap 20 of the event, you can see the gap slowly extending from the leaders. Dillon Young, car 16, continuing to lead. He's led all 20 laps. DJ Kurtis in the 19. Jesse Turner in 3rd. Then Jake Bassinger all the way back to 4th. I believe all the Turn Performance Racing cars could come into play today to be able to win this event. That's the top 5. Chris Dodd, I don't know if he's got the pace today, but he's hoping for another top 5 or another top 10 run result for this 44 Hot Wheels Dodge. Dylan Schwellenberg, he has been a top 5 driver consistently, but when you're consistently a top 5 car and your championship rivals are like a top 3 car every week, you're just losing points every week, no matter how good you're doing. Schwellenberg was at best like a 3rd car every week sometimes, and then Jesse Turner would win races, and it just was not panning out for Dillon Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg needs Kurtis and Turner to wreck twice and get like 1 point every race, and Schwellenberg needs to win both of those times when they do that for him to be right there in the mix of this for the title race. But Kurtis still in pursuit of Dillon Young. Young continuing to manage this race very well. Further back, Samuel England to the inside of Cody Lamas. Look at this move by Charles Sanford. Sanford 3 wide to the outside of England to the inside of Cody Lamas. What a move by Charles Sanford to try and get into the top 15. John Hart just ahead, but Sanford puts back his teammate and Cody Lamas. That was a great move up the middle by Charles Sanford. Here's another view of it. England and Lamas are just up ahead running side by side. And Sanford looks for a gap, sees it, drives it up the middle. And there was the gap, and he had such a run. And what a move by car 5. Charles Sanford making moves. He's not stopping there. He's going to the inside of John Hart. Don Capps is also back here in this mix, going on the inside for 19th. On Dejon Weeks. Weeks in the 3. He's got teammates all around him. Nick Pericles is just up ahead. Sanford and Art side by side. That's for 14th position. Then the 48 just slowly dropping back. Cody Lamas is handling. They're going to need to make some adjustments on pit stops for the 48. England to the inside of the 43. Trying to get in the top 15, but he's not working as well on the bottom as England. Charlie Smith trying to get another place done. He was in the top 20 momentarily, but Weeks fights back. Stops are going to be coming up very soon. There's the top 5. Young, Kurtis, Turner, Bassinger, Shelley. Then you have Dodge, Schwellenberg, Harple, Johnson, and then Davis. Schwellenberg, though, has been working on the back bumper of Chris Dodd for many laps now, trying to get position done. He got very loose off turn 2 and had to get out of the gas and lost a lot of time to Dodd. It's another race week that Ryan Acosta has not been able to make up any positions from the back of the grid. Acosta racing with Fisher, Klein, Fitzwater. Still, the Fisher Motorsports team, you know, that's a team that we expect to be doing much better than this, and especially Acosta. Hayden Klein, the team, we expected that Roush family racing team to be doing better as well. But everyone else is also having the expectations of doing better, and here they all are kind of very disappointed to be down here in the 30s. But Acosta will be 36 on raw pace, and Fisher pulling away. Man, you just hate to see this kind of run by Ryan Acosta. Pit stops are coming down. Dillon Young, DJ Kurtis, they are on the pit road. Young coming down pit road. The leaders of Jesse Turner, Jake Bassinger, James Shelley, they all stay out. Jesse Turner, Jake Bassinger, James Shelley, they are all down pit road. And Jordan Davis is going to stay out to lead the race. Jesse Turner leaving pit road. There's Dillon Young in the 16th. Oh, contact between Turner and Fitzwater. Leaving pit road. Fitzwater not giving Turner any space. Here comes Kurtis around the outside. Wow, that lap car, Zachary Fitzwater, really held up Jesse Turner in his hunt to try and get second place on his championship contender. And Kurtis shoots in a second. Cannot be very happy with Zachary Fitzwater after that. Fitzwater always talks about lap cars, but then when he is one, he ends up getting in the way just as much. Turner now in the hunt on the 19. And look how hooked up that 17 car is. That was insane. How did Turner hook up off the corner as good as he did? Wow, I bet you DJ Kurtis is asking the same thing. Look at the run that 17 car gets through the corners. Jesse Turner is flying out there in his U.S. Air Force Ford. And this is a very patriotic scheme that Jesse Turner runs on special occasions. And Jesse Turner's hoping he can put this car in victory lane tonight, but before he can even think about that, he's got to take down the Hooters Ford. Dillon Young has been in control of the event all day, and he's leading the race still. Shelley looking to get back to the inside of Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg on pit stops, so did a great job to be able to split some of the turn performance cars, but Schwellenberg has his hands full. Lap car, Alexander Rowe just up ahead, and James Shelley going to try and use Rowe as a pick to get by and get into the top 5. Just up ahead, Jesse Turner has closed that gap to Dillon Young. DJ Kurtis trying to follow him to the front, but you know, Turner and Young, they have the same cars, and Young, the adjustments on the 16, I don't even know if he made much adjustments at all, but the 17 crew especially did. And Turner really closed up in 1 and 2. Young was able to pull the gap back. And Ryan Acosta, we talked about him 2 times now, and he's fixing to go a lap down with Jordan Fisher. Dillon Young to the outside of Acosta. What a shame by Ryan Acosta. Hopefully good fortunes will come for him and that team as the season comes to a close. He won 3 times last year. He only won once at Homestead, and this is another 1.5-mile track, but the pace is just not there for him. Schwellenberg is in 6th. 7th place is Richard Johnson. Then Chris Dodds, Aiden Davidson. Then it is Sean Harple. We know Jordan Davis did the overcut, so he was going to pit the longest. He's right here just outside of the top 10. Ryan Griffins, Jeffrey White. Then it's Samuel England, Charles Sanford, the top 15. That's Dejon Weeks, who lost a place to Shelley in the championship standings. He's been 6th in the standings for a while. Now Weeks is down to 7th. Then it's Nick Garrigles, Cody Lamas. Not the run that we would hope for from the Ally Chevy today. Kurtis Racing struggling with the handle on their cars. Alex Benyako in the top 20. Then it's John Arndt. And outside the top 20, how about Doug Lockrow and Jeff James? Jeff James and that team getting a little bit more assists for Monster Energy Racing. And James, he's outrunning Bobby Jones currently. Jones is back there in 26th position. Jeff James racing with Doug Lockrow, and Lockrow having probably having the race of the season for that team. Right now in 21st. Zayden Davidson going to the outside of the 44, and we have a new leader. Jesse Turner has taken the race lead, and somebody's coming down pit road. Sean Harple on the 14. Looks like he's got an issue. A cut tire on the 14. An unscheduled pit stop for Harple. And that's a shame for Sean Harple. He was running inside the top 10. It's a replay with Sean Harple. He went into turn 3 and 4 and just had a cut tire. Drove it right down to pit road. Slowed down Jordan Davis and allowed Ryan Griffin, Jeffrey White to be able to make that pass. And Harple from the top 10 is going to have to go down pit road, change tires, and go down an alternate pit strategy. We mentioned that Jesse Turner had taken the race lead. Here's a replay. Drove it to the inside of his teammate Dillon Young. Young tried to fight it, but there was nothing he could really do. And Turner was hooked up around the bottom. And Dillon Young, who had led many of the beginning part of the race, had to give it up to Jesse Turner. In a couple of laps, Jesse Turner is already extending the advantage over Dillon Young. Young in the 16 really needs to try and pull out a race win. If Dillon Young can do what James Shelley did at Indianapolis, close that gap to Jesse Turner and be able to overtake him for the race win, I think a lot of people would be very proud of Dillon Young for that. But we know Jesse Turner is in the middle of a dogfight of a championship battle. Turner needs every point that he can get. He is 56 points to the good over DJ Kurtis. Right now gaining 14 points in the championship race over Kurtis. And Kurtis would leave this race right now 70 points back, over 1 race of points behind the championship leader. And with Kurtis to be in 3rd place, that's just a lot of points up for grabs right now. That's 4 extra points ahead of him for Dillon Young, and then 10 extra points from 2nd to 1st. Jay Kurtis, past halfway in the race, is on the attack. Needs to make up any points he can. The top 2 in the driver standings, it has been remarkable what they've been able to achieve. And right now, Kurtis, we know Cybertron Motorsports has the pace, but with Zayden Davidson down in 8th, and you see all the Turner performance inside of the top 5 in this race, you know Kurtis has an uphill battle in this event. It is obvious Jesse Turner has the better car in this championship battle, as you can tell by his teammates being able to compete with Kurtis. Zayden Davidson just down the running order some, down there at 8th. But Kurtis now has to really try his best to be able to run down Jesse Turner. Turner now coming up on Stephen Pollard III, who's actually doing decent in that 0-8 to try and put up a fight to get in the top 30. Eric DeMax just up ahead in 30th, trying to stay on the lead lap. Davidson going on the attack to try and get 7th place. Zayden Davidson, ever since he's jumping this 91 car, has done amazing. Very impressed with Zayden Davidson. He passes Richard Johnson, 2-time champion of the series. I think a lot of people tend to forget how good Richard Johnson really is, but this season has really brought out the old veteran in him. But Davidson in that 91, I'm just been so impressed by him. We know he won at Michigan earlier a few weeks back to get his first Sony Cup Series win, but he's really supporting DJ a lot in this season to be able to try and get in the mix and put the pressure on some of these rivals for the race wins. You know, he has Schwellenberg he's also fighting for in the title race, even though Schwellenberg's about a race behind Kurtis. Then you have the entire Turn Performance Racing team just ahead. So Davidson's doing his part and being in the top 10. Davis trying to work his way back up the running order after being held up because of Sean Harple's flat tire. And Jordan Davis for Mace Enterprises diving into turn 3. Griffin round the outside trying to use that preferred groove. But Jordan Davis moves his way into the top 10 running order. And how about Dejon Weeks? Weeks in the 3 car for CM Racing. Trying to get into this battle to get in the top 10. CM Racing's really always struggled in the early going in the last few weeks. And good on Dejon Weeks and that CM Racing team to have grabbed a win at Watkins Glen, because now a race win for this organization is looking more and more bleak as every other team seems to step up. And this 3-team, an entire CM Racing and Kurtis Racing organization, has struggled as a whole to be a top 10 cars. But lap traffic just up ahead, making it difficult on these guys. Early pit stops are unfolding. Dylan Schwellenberg has came down pit road. A lot of drivers have already hit pit road, but Dillon Young, DJ Kurtis, they have not hit pit road just yet. But here comes Turner. Turner down pit road along with Young and Kurtis. So the race leader following the same strategy now as Young and Kurtis. Pit stops. James Shelley really had a great stop. He was able to stay with DJ Kurtis, but Dillon Young was not able to stay with Kurtis at all. The team really failed Dillon Young on pit stops for the second round of pit stops today. And Dylan Schwellenberg, who came in the earliest, is going to try and get a run on Shelley here. And might actually have a run down the straightaway to be able to challenge the 71. Now, tires do come back to play just a little bit, but you want to try and get the track advantage. And Schwellenberg to the inside of James Shelley, trying to get this position back. And Schwellenberg overtakes James Shelley. Bassinger trying to merge back in with traffic, but also Schwellenberg's going to have his tires warmed up. Going to try and make something happen. Throws a block on James Shelley and is looking to the inside of Jake Bassinger. And just up ahead, Fisher's, that's a lap car. Where is Jesse Turner? He's way up the running order. There's Turner in comparison. Then there's DJ. That's not DJ. It's Hayden Klein. Way down the road from DJ Kurtis. Jesse Turner had a flying stop. It stops wind out. The only driver in the top 10 that is not going to be in there in the next handful of laps is Sean Harple, because Harple had to pit because of a flat tire. And he is going to have to pit in extra time compared to everyone else. And he's in 9th. Jesse Turner, with 35 laps to go, we have one more pit stop to unfold. Jesse Turner's out front by 5 seconds, a little over 5 seconds, over DJ Kurtis. Top 3 in the championship, or top 3 in the race. And That is just the standard that these top 3 drivers in the point standings have had to do all year long. And for Toyota to have one of their drivers in the mix of things for this season, Dylan Schwellenberg, you know, he's the 2017 Hardee's National Series champion, and he's trying to do what I don't think anyone really has done, is to be able to win a championship in the lower series and then come up and win a championship in the next category. And Dylan Schwellenberg is hoping to be able to do that. You know, we also know Luke Martin's in a race to try and get a championship in the Napa Truck Series, to be one of those to have 2 championships in the FBRL across different series. But Schwellenberg is in the mix still. You know, he's 2 races back, but you have to be able to put on the fight and still have hope that it can still happen. And with the pace he has this season, to be in 3rd place, anything can happen. We still have plenty of this race to go. Kurtis losing ground right now through lap traffic to Jesse Turner. And Turner, not only would a win today be big for him, for back-to-back wins from Pocono to here, but it would be big in the sense it would be his 7th win of the season if he can hold on. And only 2 drivers before him have done that. Ryan Griffin and Nick Mace. That is the most wins in a season, 7 wins. If Turner can do that today, he'll tie that record. And then he'll also join the likes of Nick Mace, Richard Johnson, Luke Martin, Eugene DeMax, DJ Kurtis. Am I missing somebody? There's a lot of drivers on that list that have won 20 or more races. And you want to be able to join that. He would be... Jake Bassinger's on there too. Jake Bassinger joined it this year. He got his 20th career win at Carbondale. But it is a milestone win to get 20 wins. I believe Nick Mace got 20 wins in his career at this very same track back in season 14. But Turner's looking good out front, but we have a long ways to go. Anything can still happen. Looking outside the top 10, as that is where the closest battles are forming. Ryan Griffin's just up ahead in 11th. He's going to be trying to chase down Sean Harple. So 10th place could be on the cards when Harple comes down pit road, because Samuel England's not that far behind Ryan Griffin. And England has done amazing in the last handful of races. He has finished in the top 20 in a lot of races this year. He's been able to finish in the top half of the grid, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. Harple gives way to Ryan Griffin, gives England and Dejon Weeks. What a run by Weeks! Dejon Weeks in car 3 with his teammate down the inside of Alex Bignacco, trying to take this position away. And Dejon Weeks, what a move there. Took advantage of Sean Harple's slow 14 to be able to move up another position. Now Dejon Weeks is so eager to be able to move over to the Monster Energy Racing team, as that team has made big steps forward and looks good for the new regulation change for next season. Weeks could be a threat to win races and fight for the title again next season. CM Racing has kind of been a big blunder this season of what's happened to them. They won the championship last year. Luke Martin won the championship in this same car, in car 0, which car 0 last year is car 3 this year. But CM Racing looking good in this race right now, as Weeks and Bignacco are knocking on the door of a top 10 run. Jordan Davis in car 20s at 15th. That's Sean Arndt. Then Cody Lamas is racing with Bobby Jones and Jeff James. There's Charles Sanford in car 5. He's down to 20th. Matt Rodriguez has been in a constant battle with the midfield to try and pick his way through traffic. He is outside the top 20 in 21st, as the leader, Jesse Turner, continues to close in, extending that advantage over DJ Kurtis. Nick Pericles in 22nd and 23rd. The last car in the lead lap, it is Zach Rogers. Bastinger looking to the inside of James Shelley. Dillon Young closing in on this battle. Turner Performance Racing. All 3 of the drivers that aren't leading, Jesse Turner's out front, but all 3 of them, 4th, 5th, and 6th, the entire organization looking so good. Bassinger being able to make that pass on Shelley. Young able to make that pass as well to move up into 5th place. I say that there, but Shelley trying to fight back. Shelley in 3 and 4 really fought back against Dillon Young. He might actually hold a chance here. Shelley in the outside. Schwellenberg just up ahead. He's in 3rd place. And James Shelley drives it down to the corner and trying to get the run off the corner. Shelley gets 5th place back away. It's been a very quiet day. We've mentioned them some. But as the race comes to a close, pit stops will come up soon, and that'll be the last thing that shakes things up. It looks like we may get a caution-free race at Las Vegas. And it looks like everyone's sorted out. They're racing hard. I don't know if we'll get another caution. However, Dylan Schwellenberg's under attack by Jake Bassinger. Very quiet day, though, for Zayden Davidson. He's closing in on Dillon Young. But then further back, Richard Johnson. They're 7th and 8th. Then Chris Dodd looking good to get another top 10 result today. And Dodd in the 44, that team, Allen Family Racing Team, they desperately need it. And Dodd in the 44, looking for his 11th top 10 this season. James Shelley just up ahead in the 71. There he is. Bassinger to the inside of Schwellenberg. Doug Lockrow just up ahead. Shelley's also there trying to get in the mix of this. Shelley looking for his 10th top 10 of the season. He's to the inside of Bassinger. Bassinger in this 97. Getting held up little by little. Schwellenberg racing with Dillon Young. Schwellenberg's going to lose all 3 positions to them. And Zayden Davidson's there too. Zayden Davidson trying to pick his way through any driver he can get by, but not able to get by Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg lost all 3 positions there. I was talking about Chris Dodd, but Dodd's actually in danger of losing the top 10. Here's the CM Racing boys. Ryan Griffin just got by Dodd, and Dejon Weeks and Alex Benyako are right on the back bumper with Jeffrey White. So Dodd cannot let up here. He's got to really work for this top 10 result. James Shelley, Jake Bassinger, the Turner Performance Racing cars, the rest of them battling for 3rd place. DJ Kurtis, Jesse Turner are long gone. Bassinger, Shelley side by side. Shelley to the outside, trying to hold on to 3rd place. Pit stops will be coming up very, very soon. Who will be coming in first? Bassinger back into 3rd position. Davidson's there. Could make a pass on Young. Young with a very defensive line. He's also on the offense, trying to get past James Shelley. But Shelley again using that top side to his advantage and keeps 4th place. Drivers are choosing to pit this time. There's James Shelley's and Dylan Schwellenberg. They are on pit road. But with this being no caution flags all day, I'd be skeptical to come in now because a caution flag during pit stops would shake things up dramatically at the end of this one. And Turner is coming in. He stayed out as long as he possibly could. Kurtis also now coming down pit road. Jake Bassinger comes down on Jeff James. That was nearly an accident. We cut over to it. And man, that was almost bad. He's on pit road with Zayden Davidson. Everyone is on pit road. This is coming down to the very nitty-gritty. It's at the very end of this race. There's Dillon Young leaving pit road. He came down to pit road a lap earlier. Oh, Kurtis, look out, Kurtis. Kurtis is coming in. Contact with Ryan Griffin. Don't know if that'll be very minimal damage. Right side tires going on for Jesse Turner, and he leaves pit road. Wonder if anyone else will do alternate strategies. Kurtis leaves pit road. He's going to have to need a caution or something if he wants to win this race. Turner with a great stop. Looks like he's going to cycle out with the lead. Kurtis, don't think he's going to have anything for them. Zach Rodgers in the 99 is your race leader, but he's finally pitting. He was just ahead of Turner before pit stops, the last car in the lead lap. And I bet you he was hoping for a caution flag to be able to cycle him out as the leader. But he's the last car to come down pit road with 7 laps to go. With 6 laps to go now, Jesse Turner holds 4.5 second lead over DJ Kurtis. Now it's about 5. So it looks like Jesse Turner looks like the favorite right now to win this event. Caution flag if it was to come out. Right now, we would get a restart, but we're closing in on the stages of the race where if a caution comes out now, it would just end the race. And Turner just needs to have perfect laps at this point. Kurtis in second position, entered this race 56 points back. And right now, looks like he's going to be 66. Dylan Schwellenberg needs to do everything he can to be as good as he can in the points fight. He's third in the championship. He's an outsider, but still, right now he's losing 14 points. That's just going to be even more ground he's losing. Third place and you're losing ground. You're losing 14 points right now. That is insane to me. That just shows that winning means so much. Jesse Turner's on the... Oh, Kyle Collins in the 86. Collins in the 86. Looks like he's got an engine failure of some sort. Pulling off the apron in the 86, the Horizon Group car. Oh, sliding! Kyle Collins slides, spins up the track. Fitz freeze. Some of the leaders are in there. There's a big crash. James Shelley's in there. Dejon Weeks in the 3. Jake Bassinger's around as well. The caution flag flies. Where's your leader, Jesse Turner? Did he get involved in... No, there he is. Oh, man, he almost got pitched on the wall. Kyle Collins had an engine failure off turn 4. In the closing stages, everyone trying to scatter. Turner needs to make sure he doesn't get hit by anybody. As we come to the line, there'll be 2 laps to go. Turner stays out as he should. And that's going to end the race. Jesse Turner. He just needs to come around for 2 more pace laps. The caution flag flies. A vicious accident with Kyle Collins. He had an engine failure, drove to the inside through the grass, spun it off in turn 1. And as the cars come across the line right now, wow, look at the running order as it runs. Samuel England's in the top 10 for the first time all day in 9th. Jeffrey White looks poised to get his first top 10 in as many races. Jesse Turner just needs to come around for an official result to get his 7th win of the season. Let's get you a replay of what just happened. Kyle Collins in the 86, he was out driving his teammate Jeffrey Lynn. They were running a 26th and 27th, 1 lap down. And Collins in the 86 had an engine failure, drove it through the grass, and all of a sudden right here, just loses the car, spins into the inside wall, back up the track. Vince Freeze luckily hit him in the corner panel, but still a violent spin for Collins, and luckily nobody came back around and hit him. He was facing oncoming traffic. There it is again. He's already spinning to the inside, and Collins hits the inside wall and is going to try and catch it. Ends up spinning with the car. That's about as good of a look at right here is about as good as we're going to get. Vince Freeze comes along and clips him in the corner panel, hits Daniel Bouchard. Stephen Pollard III luckily to get by this. Ryan Griffin just up ahead as well. But James Shelley's going to end up nailing the 55. We're going to have to go replay of what happened further up as well. Alex Benyako clips the 55. Chris Dodd, I thought, yeah, he got 10th place. Jake Bassinger in the 97 was spinning. He hit his teammate there. Benyako in the 8 hit Daniel Bouchard, and I thought Chris Dodd did as well. And you see the 3 of Dejon Weeks. He got clipped by somebody. And I think that might have been it. But Jeffrey White and Samuel England were far back enough from this accident. They were able to get by the crash. And they were able to make this pass on Chris Dodd down the straightaway under caution. And they race back to the yellow flag. And Jeffrey White and Samuel England are going to get 8th and 9th. Here's a look. Vince Freeze right rear, or left rear actually. And then Vince Freeze hits Daniel Bouchard, spinning Bouchard up the track and in the outside wall. He ends up getting hit by Ryan Griffin. Griffin in the 37. No, he actually didn't hit him. Somebody I thought had hit him. I guess nobody did hit Bouchard until it was Alex Benyako And then Dodd got a little piece of it as well. Here's a replay of what happened with Dillon Weeks. He was coming onto the accident, and he ends up getting clipped by somebody. It's Vince Freeze. Freeze clips him in the right rear, spinning Weeks up the track, and Weeks likely would have had an 8th place finish. Instead, he finishes outside the top 10. So that's the accident. Let's get some onboards. On board with Kyle Collins. He was already through the grass. Luckily, nobody came through and hit him. Bobby Jones darted the inside. Everyone else behind was lucky to miss whatever happened. Vince Freeze. That's still a big accident. Then gets hit in the right door. And he clipped Dillon Weeks there, and another big hit. That's Bobby Jones in the 30. Didn't even see this. Bobby Jones kind of hit Vince Freeze in the left rear. Luckily, he missed the door. But that was near disastrous right there by Bobby Jones and Vince Freeze. Luckily, everyone looks like they're going to be okay. Here it is again. Vince Freeze and Bobby Jones. Jones darts up the hill right in the left rear. Everyone in this accident was so lucky that they got hit away from the driver's compartment. And it seems like everyone's going to be able to walk away unscathed. A little bit rattled, but I think everyone's a little rattled, but they're going to end up being okay from this accident. James Shelley was on for a top 10 result until this accident. Ryan Griffin looks like he's going to get a top 10 result today, finishing 7th, but he got through just barely. Alex Bignacco was en route for a top 10 result. This accident actually is taking him out of the race. Barely made contact there, but another slight contact with Daniel Bouchard was enough to damage the radiator on this 8 car. And Daniel Bouchard, that contact from Bouchard to Bignacco is going to take Bignacco out of the race. The white flag is flying one more time around. Jesse Turner. This season is looking ever brighter for him. The white flag is out, and it looks like he's going to get his 7th win of the season, 13th top 5, and 16th top 10 in 24 starts. He won the championship in 2017, and he did amazing there to get that 2015 championship. 2018, he could have won the title, but he threw it away in the closing stages of that championship race, and he's looking to get that 2nd championship back. Kurtis finishing 2nd today. It's a good result, but still, it's not good enough. He's going to lose 10 points to Turner. Some drivers looking inside the top 10. Jeffrey White needed this result. It's going to be his 5th top 10 of the season. Samuel England, his 3rd of the season. Ryan Griffin really needed this for morale boost. 7th top 10 of the season for him. Richard Johnson, another top 10, his 8th. But Jesse Turner, he is going to join a list of legends with 20 wins in his career. Turner is going to be the 7th driver to ever win 20 or more wins in his career, and joins Ryan Griffin and Nick Mace with 7 wins in the season. And with 6 races to go in the championship race, the championship advantage has swung from 56 points to 66 points. And with Dylan Schwellenberg entering this race 127 points back, his advantage swings ever greater, now 141 points back. With 6 races left, Turner sits in a good position to break the record of most wins in a season immense congratulations to that entire Turn Performance Racing team. Jeffrey Lynn broke down at the end of the race in the 76, so that's why there's a big gap there. Just like his teammate Kyle Collins. Horizon Group breaking down at the end of the race caused a disaster wreck that took out a lot of contenders at the back half of the top 10. But Jesse Turner joins a list of legends, really, with the win column, and then puts his record up there with 7 wins in a season. Jesse Turner is on rails right now. Congratulations to Jesse Turner as he chases that second title and extends the championship advantage. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after the round of Las Vegas.